welcome to Limping on Cloud 9. I am Jonathan Nato, and I am here with you with Hamad Zaidi.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you doing today?
Good. Everything's going well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Today is my birthday.
Happy birthday. No.
No, it's a lot of fun. I'm not somebody who hates your birthday. In fact, I celebrate the entire month.
There you go.
So today is, today's the day my mom and dad had me.
There
it's
you
a good
go.
thing.
Yeah, my wife is like, let's celebrate my birthday week. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way.
It does. Tell your wife I said it does work that way. I do the entire month of January.
Well, I'm not going to let her know that's how you roll, because she'll want to extend it out to a month instead of a week now.
That's good. Hey, so I've been racking my brain the last few weeks to figure out which podcast we would do on my birthday. And I decided not even to do a birthday podcast, but to do something that's fun, creative, unusual, and brings the listeners to another slice of life, point of my life.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So what we're doing is the 2000 Sydney Olympics, which was the only Olympics I've ever attended.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
So let's slide into this story.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me take you back to the year 2000. You ready?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's funny you saying the year 2000 reminds me of like a skit Conan O'Brien would do where they'd be like, in the year 2000.
Oh, yeah. That is funny. Okay, people, we apologize for being unprofessional and laughing at ourselves. So we'll get back into this. A little bit of backstory. In 1976, so many years before 2000, one of my family friends, one of my dad's friends, went to the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. And I was a kid back then. We were living in Kansas. I was a young kid. And he brought me something from the Olympics. And I'm like, man, I want to go. I want to go to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
So it became kind of a life's mission to just see one Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan, the only other thing to remember that I need to frame for you guys out there is in the summer of 2000, I shot my first and last and only short film called Baptized at Lucky Lube, which we will certainly talk about in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just keep that in mind as the story goes forward.
Okay, all right.
So first I go to the Great Barrier Reef alone, right? Amazingly beautiful place. I mean, I remember being up in that part of Australia, and I did whitewater rafting, with a group of strangers. and we did a hot air balloon ride.
That's cool.
Where there were hundreds of wild kangaroo jumping around in the
That's
fields
really
below
cool.
us.
My mother-in-law is dying to go on a hot air balloon ride.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
You have to do it at 5:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning before the winds pick up.
Yeah.
So you're dead tired and it's freezing cold and you're wondering why you're doing it. and then you lift up right as sunrise is starting and you see a field of hundreds of kangaroo jumping around. And
That's
you're
cool.
Like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, no,
this
that is
cool. So we did that, and then I went on a snorkeling party boat, right?
Oh man.
And for people that have heard our swimming episode, this will make sense to you. I was on one of those boats where they say, we can get you certified in 2 hours, right? to snorkel the Great Barrier Reef. And I'm like, screw it, I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I put the tank on, I did the little 45-minute intro.
Yeah.
And then what they did is they put the tank on you and they lowered you into the Great Barrier Reef.
Sure.
And I got to tell you, I can't swim, so that's one problem. and the other problem is, as I'm being lowered, I'm realizing, hey, Hamad, you're not very good at this. And you can't swim, and you're alone. Those are 3 negatives.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And as I'm descending, I'm realizing I'm in the Great Barrier Reef. There are the largest concentration of great white sharks.
Exactly. Like, you're totally shark bait, man.
I'm like a little brown. I'm like a little brown beef jerky that sharks can look at and say, that guy can't swim. I can go eat him, right? And as I was descending, I realized I'm like, WTF, Hamad? What are you thinking? Go back up and tell them you can't do this. And that's what I did, because I'm like, I can't do this.
That's
this is crazy.
That's probably a good move.
That was a Great Barrier Reef part of the story. So then I get to Sydney, and then I go to the house we're staying at. And this is kind of a crazy part of the story, but I just confirmed that the guy I'm going to tell you about is still living. He's like 91 years old right now.
Okay.
Right? But his name was Art Hoffman.
Okay.
And he was like an old sports PR guy.
Okay.
So if he's 91 now, he was 74 back then.
Sure,
so
yeah.
this was, 2000.
Yeah.
74, 75. And what he would do, Jonathan, is he would pound on my door at like 5:14 in the morning every day. So he'd pound on my room door and he'd be like, kid, get up. We got places to be. And he had that raspy voice.
Yeah.
Just like you imagine like an old sports writer.
Yeah.
Or sports PR guy.
Yeah.
And so, again, as I'm imagining this, I'm just thinking, what did people see? They saw like a limping little brown guy next to an older gentleman, an older white guy who can't walk that fast because his feet were just kind of sliding.
Yeah.
And so that was the image of how we'd go to sporting events.
Man.
But now, as people are probably waiting for, what the heck I'm going to talk about, let me slide into the actual moment or moments that made the entire trip worth it. Right? And so what I did, Jonathan, is I went to a quarterfinal men's gymnastics event.
Okay.
And I went alone, right?
Yeah.
Because I did the whole trip alone.
Yeah.
Outside of, Mr. Art.
Yeah. Waking up at 5 in the morning.
Waking me up at 5:14 in the morning, besides that. And he's a wonderful guy. I'm so thrilled to know that he's still alive.
Yeah.
I think it's great. He's 91. So I'm sitting next to this random woman, and as I've joked before, when I sit next to a random person, they kind of look at me and they're like, "This is a weird little man, and we don't want to we don't want to talk to him." So I kept trying to strike conversation with this like 55, 60-year-old lady.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't talk to me. She kept turning her body away from me.
Wow. Okay.
And, I'm like, all right, And then every time she looked over, I'd say something very pleasant, like, this is great, isn't it? Or, I love Sydney. This is one of my favorite cities in the world, right?
Yeah.
And finally she warmed up. And what she told me just floored me. Right? Can I tell you?
Yeah.
She told me, she goes, you know what? I've always wanted to go my whole life. And I'm like, me too, right?
Yeah.
But then she goes, there's no way I can afford this. And then I'm like, yeah, but you're here. You obviously did afford it.
Yeah.
And the lady smiles and she goes, the Olympics have a program that if you donated so many hours of volunteering, you could get 1 ticket, not even 2.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, so you volunteered, what'd you do? And she goes, I cleaned the Olympic Village, I cleaned the grounds, picked up the trash, I cleaned the bathrooms. And she's telling me all this stuff she did to get 1 ticket to a quarterfinal gymnastics event, right? And I had an epiphany. I'm like, you know what? This woman deserves the 2 tickets to the gymnastics final that I have in my pocket more than I do.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I go, so you want to go to the final? And she just gave me this look like, she's like, don't play with me. This means a lot to me. I worked really hard for this 1 ticket. Do not play with me.
So
right?
She got the 1 ticket. Was it for just this one event? That's it? She worked all that to see this one event?
To see a quarterfinal.
Wow.
Match,
Okay.
One event.
Okay.
Yeah, not the whole thing, just one event.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I was thinking like the whole thing, but man. Okay.
No, one event, man.
Wow.
I would do it if it was tickets to everything.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. So she really put in a lot of time and stuff just for this one a chance at seeing one event.
Right. She put in countless hours.
Okay.
And I hope someday she hears this podcast and contacts us, because I'd love to say hi to her again.
Yeah, that would be amazing and awesome if that happened.
Yeah, but you know what wound up happening is I said, do you want to go to the final? And she's like, go play with me. And I took the tickets out of my pocket. And I'm like, well, here's 2 tickets to the men's final. And she looked at it and she's like, I can't pay for these. I said, I'm not asking you to pay for them. Take them. And she looked at me and she goes, they must be fake. And you know, it's funny because you and I talked about this the other day, and I told you this is what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, lady, I'm trying to give you tickets to the final of gymnastics. Just say thank you.
Right. Just take them and be happy.
Yeah. And then she goes, how do I know they're real? And I had to flip them around because back then they were just starting to put holographic stickers on the back. Right. And I'm like, look, it's got the hologram on the back. And then she started tearing, and she didn't hug me or anything. She just started tearing, and she started saying, you don't know how much this means to me. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, it's all good. And I tell you, Jonathan, it was the greatest feeling bringing happiness to her. And at that moment, I realized, you know what? You couldn't have had this much happiness going to the final because you don't really care that much about gymnastics.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is I've always tried to be a giving person in the past.
Yeah.
But when that happened, I realized that I like being Santa Claus instead of getting gifts from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
The other thing that it really did is it really kicked my ass because I thought, look at what this woman went through. Look at how much time she put in to get one ticket. So I need to stop taking for granted that I'm able to call my friend Don and say, hey, man, I want to go to the Olympics and have it set up.
Yeah.
So that is the story that I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to do something different, unique, and fun for the birthday episode.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say, since today is my birthday, let me just on my end close on this. For everyone listening out there, you know when your birthday is, obviously. Think of 2 to 3 things that you're dying to accomplish in your life that you never took a step forward to trying to do. And guarantee yourself you're going to nail at least one of them before your next birthday.
That's good. That's a good challenge.
Yeah, and you know, for those of you out there who are born January 3rd, don't sit there and think, I've got the whole year to worry about this, right?
Right.
Actually start doing it. And for those of you who are born like February 8th that have, 8 days, well, you better get cracking.
Exactly.
Right? But that's what I wanted to share, and I wanted to reiterate, everyone, I really appreciate you listening to what Jonathan and I are doing. And I love everyone out there, and if I can do anything for you, info@limpingoncloud9.com is our new email address.
Yep.
Once again, it's info@limpingoncloud9.com. And you can go to the website, limpingoncloud9.com. And Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yes, again, thank you all for going on iTunes, leaving reviews, going on Google Play, Stitcher Radio, whatever your favorite place is. We greatly appreciate you all listening and downloading. Continue to spread the word. Don't forget we have the Facebook page, we have the Twitter. They're both Limping on Cloud 9 with using the number 9. And you can find us everywhere and anywhere that you possibly can. We're doing our best to be everywhere. And if you want to email us, again, it's info@limpingoncloud9.com. We appreciate everything you guys do and listen. And thank you all. And we will talk to you next episode. See ya.